Hi everyone, in this Pocket City 2 video, I'm going to share 8 tips for success in expert mode in Pocket City 2. So let's get to it. So the city we're looking at right now, it is not an expert mode city. How can you tell? You can tell by looking at the background of your level. So when you look at my level here, it says level 201, which is awesome because we got ZigZag City to level 200. That's awesome. But this was done on easy mode. And what am I talking about when I'm talking about modes? Well, if you go to settings, if you go to cities, and if you start a new city, you'll notice there are 3 options of difficulty. We have easy, hard, and expert. And each changes colors. Easy has a blue background, hard has orange, and expert has a red background. So what we're going to do right now is load up our expert city, and that is Twilight City. As you can see on this list, I'm gonna go ahead and load that city. So this is our Twilight City expert city, and we have 197 as our level indicated in the top left corner. You'll see we have $12 million and we have 18,000 people, and the population is going down a little bit right now. Now, what are the tips? First of all, I learned so much by playing expert mode, by switching to expert mode. And I switched to expert mode because I got to 200, I would say, pretty easily on the easy mode. I guess that's the point, because it is easy mode. But after that, once I had the entire city loaded up, everything I could build I did, and there wasn't a lot to play for after that. So what I decided to do was try my luck on expert mode and see whether or not I can survive. And to be honest with you, I learned so many things. Let me just drop the mayor down here so I can show you the city flying around, gliding while we talk about this. So I was completely rocked at the very beginning, because in expert mode everything is harder. You get less money, people are less interested in coming to your tourism events and stuff like that. There's less XP offered. Just in general, everything that is so generous in the easy mode, that comes to you so easily, like you earn XP so easily, you earn money so easily, there's so many quests and things that come up, everything is just super easy. That's not how it is in expert mode. So I was actually at $0 a few times, probably 3 or 4 times during my first stint at the very beginning of my expert mode city. And this is the only expert mode city that I created and have ever created and played on. So it was my very first time, and that's why I have some lessons to share with you. If you're gonna start an expert mode city, here are 8 things you want to do to make sure you don't go broke and bankrupt like I did multiple times. Everything is easier to explain if I start with the stats. Look at my current stats on my expert city, Twilight City. Our income is $155,000 per day. That's pretty low. If you notice, obviously I'm level 198 right now, but my income is only 155,000, and my current balance is $12.5 million. Luckily, that's going up, and we want to save up, because when I go down to buildings, I want to build some mega projects because they bring in more income, and I can't even afford any of these remaining mega projects. The cheapest one is 30 million, but what I really want to build is mega commerce towers, because they provide jobs and generate income. So with that, let's go back to stats and let me share tip number 1. You should build twice as many residential zones as you build industrial and commercial zones at the very beginning. Why is that, you might wonder? And I think that's a good idea, because if you look at my income, and this is true also for my easy mode city, the income tax is the highest income that I'm getting in all of the different income categories. Yes, I'm getting sales, yes, I'm getting property tax, but income tax is by far the most, and that's directly related to how many people are living in your city. And you increase the number of people living in your city by increasing residential zones. So the more residential zones you have, the more people you will have. And then you'll have to give them jobs. And you give them jobs by building some industrial and commercial zones. But luckily, you don't have to build as many commercial and industrial zones, because each commercial building can employ a number of citizens. So for example, this commercial building I tapped at is making a certain amount of profit apparently, but it provides 10 jobs, right? So you don't need for every citizen an individual job or an individual commercial or industrial building, right? So when I go down here, similarly to, let's say this is a low level industrial building, it provides 52 jobs, right? So you don't have to build as many industrial and commercial zones as you do residential. And the good thing about building more residential zones, twice as many as industrial and commercial, is that your population also goes up, so you get a lot of XP as you meet your population benchmarks. What am I talking about? Well, I'm really talking about the milestones. So these milestones, they just give you money as you meet these milestones. So that was tip number 1: build more residential and less commercial and industrial. But definitely do build all 3 of them, but just the proportion you need to manage so that you have more residentials, so your population is increasing, and as a result both income tax and sales are going to be going up the more people you have. Let's go to tip number 2. Now this is going to be contrary to my other advice from a previous video when I was making easy mode city. Well, that's because that was an easier city to build, run, and sustain. And on hard mode, on expert mode, I mean, you have to be more careful. And what do we have to be more careful about? Is borrowing money. In easy mode, it's okay to borrow money, you'll be able to pay it off. In expert mode, you are still going to be able to borrow money if you build a bank, and I just hit level 199. But the problem is, you get a loan with a 2% interest rate, and that is more money getting deducted from your daily income. All right, and you don't want to do that, otherwise you will go broke. And that's one of the reasons why I got broke, because I quickly wanted to build zones and I borrowed money. And when I borrowed money, I thought I was going to be in decent shape, but I didn't stay in good shape. And that's because every day the bank kept on taking money away from my income, and I was like, why isn't my income going up? And that 2% interest rate was really the reason why that was happening. So do not borrow money at the beginning when you're doing expert mode building. Now, as I finish this up, let's go to our tip number 3. And tip number 3 is fix everything yourself. Alright, it was so easy for me in my other city, that ZigZag city, which was built on easy mode, that I would just always pay for my repair. I would just, go tap on build, tap on repair. Oh, $100,000 on repair? Sure, repair everything in one instant, and just use either a repair kit if I had one, which was free, which was great. But if I didn't have a repair kit, I would just simply pay, and I didn't care if I had to pay. And that is something you cannot do in expert mode. You need to save every penny, every dollar, and you want to make sure that you are repairing everything yourself. So what that means is that you have to get your mayor out and about opening chests, and as the mayor's opening chests, he's gonna pick things up like pickaxes, hammers, and other tools. And these are the tools that the mayor can use to quickly repair things. And as you're completing quests, the mayor also unlocks certain things that allow him to work a little bit faster. And if a natural disaster occurs, you can send the mayor in quickly and let the mayor fix those things up. And you know what? We like to hit are 100 and 200 with a natural disaster. So let's go to a natural disaster and show you what I'm talking about. Instead of spending money on the repairs, we're gonna have the mayor fix our repair. But let's go to our natural disaster. We'll go to our events, go to disasters, and go all the way down to the meteor strike. And that's what we get. Bam! Rocks falling, space rocks just killing the city. Now, as you'll notice, everything is getting destroyed, the buildings are broken, and sometimes water buildings, energy buildings, power buildings, they break, and then the water supply gets down, and then your income starts to dip because none of those factories or commercial zones are working either. So you do need to fix them very quickly and efficiently. Now, we just hit level 200 on expert mode, guys. That's awesome. Very excited about that. It was really hard. Expert mode was very hard to get to 100. The first 100 was so hard, but these tips that I'm giving you will make sure that you don't have such a hard time in getting to 200 the way I did. But anyway, so we have our mare, we have broken buildings thanks to this meteor. As you can see, I just tap and drag and drop my mare off. Now this is great because you'll notice that the mare is just on his own, or on her own in this case. He's traveling around and fixing everything. I don't have to keep on finding stuff or places or spots that are broken. The mare just kind of goes on her own and finds all of the broken roads, all of the broken buildings, and she's just fixing them on their own. I don't have to do much. She's just like has some kind of way of figuring out what's broken, and she goes once you drop her in. Alright, but you don't want to bother her once you've dropped her in. So repair everything yourself. Now, the mare is pretty much repairing everything herself right now, but if I were to pay for my repairs, it would be $190,000 after that natural disaster. But I am not going to be paying that because the mare's sitting there doing nothing anyway. Why don't we put the mare to work and let her fix everything? It'll take a little bit longer. That's fine. What's the rush? Right? We just had a natural disaster. Let her fix things up so we don't have to fix them. And right now, look at that. I had so many repairs due. The mare repaired everything, and there's nothing left to repair. So that was tip number 3. Repair everything yourself. Tip number 4. Focus on building up tourism, right? So this is something that I was not thinking about when I was working easy mode, right? Tourism, things like this Ferris wheel, things like the motocross course, things like this Eiffel Tower looking thing, steel tower, right? Things that attract tourism, this mega project, the mega amusement park, right? There's lots of things that encourage tourism, and you want to do that. Why? Because you want to do in the beginning everything that's going to make you money. And when I go to, not build, when I go to my stats, I can show you once again in our metrics that tourism is bringing me $18,000 a day, friends. That's great news. All right, so $18,000 a day from tourism, 14 from sales, the biggest one being the income tax, which is 56,000. So all of this, and there's other income too, and this is from mega projects and the financial towers and stuff, but we'll get to that. So you want to increase your income, and you increase your income through tourism pretty quickly and easily, and that's what you got to do. If the tourism is thriving in your city, you're getting good income, and that's what you want. That's what you need. That's what your expert level city needs. All right, what's going on? We have a relationship to check on. Megan sent a present. Our relationships. This is the other thing. While we're talking about some income, here's a bonus tip. Improve your relationships. It doesn't cost much. You're getting presents from people all the time anyway. Increase these relationships. It's free XP. Sometimes you get some money, and sometimes you unlock new buildings. So work on the relationship while you can. It doesn't cost much, or not really anything. You just have to have a sandwich, steak, or duck or something, some stupid food item that you can give as a gift, and that should work out. Tip number 5. Tip number 5 is build investment banks and financial towers. What am I talking about? Well, again, everything is about making money. And if you can make and save money, your city is going to be in good shape. These are the towers that make you a lot of money. This right here, financial tower, you could build 4 of them, and that gets you $5,000 a day. Actually, I don't know. I think maybe it even allows you more than that. Let's go to financial. Oh yeah, you could have up to 20 of them. There you go. So these get you $5,000 a day, right? So that's awesome. I got 4 of them right here, and that is $20,000 that's just coming from there. Another building is the investment bank. You could have these have a max cap. You can't have unlimited amount, but let's just go to our investment bank here and see how much is it that we can build. Mine is grayed out because max is 3, and I have 3. All right, I have 1 elsewhere. And the third building, I think this is the commerce tower. I can't get to. I can't even tap at it. but it's the Commerce Tower, so I can just show you it in the build. Commerce Tower, it boosts sales of nearby commercial zones. So again, higher sales tax, another form of income. So these buildings you definitely want to make. All right, you want to build these buildings. If you can afford more, you should build more. You should probably max out on all these buildings. The more you can, the better it is for your city. Number 6 is a very easy one, and that is complete quests. Easy money, easy XP, and oftentimes, most of the time, it improves your relationships, which also unlocks other things and gives you more XP and stuff. So it's always good. It's always an easy thing. Sometimes there are quests that you can't do yet. They just come up and they hog up your space, and you don't want that. So I want to show you that, because sometimes you don't want a quest, right? And you don't want to have this quest just taking up space here. You want it to be replaced by another quest that you could possibly do. Now look at my quest here. I'll build a fusion power plant. I could probably do that, so I'll keep that. Defeat Mary Smokes in a city competition. Yes, I need to get my population above 20,000 for that one, so I'm waiting for that, so I'm going to keep that quest. Reach a 95% rating for traffic efficiency and an 89% for tax satisfaction. I don't think I'm changing my taxes anytime soon, so why am I keeping this quest? Because there's only a certain number of quests that you can keep at the same time. So let me get rid of this one. I can just abandon it. But don't worry, I can abandon that quest and later it'll pop up again, so I don't need to worry about it. Same thing with traffic efficiency. I'm gonna abandon this quest because I'd rather get these 2 quests replaced by some quests that I can do right now that will be more immediate, and I can quickly earn some money and XP. Last one says build a regional city that reaches level 50. I'm not going to do that right now. I need more time for that. I can't focus on another city right now while I'm working on my hard mode or my expert mode city. So I'm going to abandon this quest too. So now I'm only left with 2 quests, and all I got to do is wait a little bit, and I will have other quests that'll pop up in place for those, because you could have 5 at a time, I believe. Right? And the other thing you can do is to earn and build your relationship is to just drive around, not drive around, or float around, glide around, drive around, walk around, whatever it is, and look for things that are happening in the city. It really does matter. So obviously one thing is to be getting these chests open. You know, a lot of times they have lame stuff in them, like those red pants. Like, who needs that? But sometimes you get good tools and a better glider. I remember the low-level glider I got, I could barely glide for like 2 seconds before I dropped down again, but now I can glide for a long time. As you can see, I have like a gold glider, and that's because I kept on opening these up and I got some, right? So again, the tip is to focus on quests, but don't feel limited by the quest that came up. You could always abandon a quest and a quest will come back up again. If the quest is not coming up, just wait, be patient. Other things, you see these white lights flashing up, shooting up into the sky. Those are little interactions you can do with your citizens and other things, situations going on that earn you XP and relationship also. So I just took this cat to the shelter because I saw that light popping up, and that earns me a relationship point. There you go, with Vivian. Alright, and there's a quest right there that popped up. Let's see what this one is about. Build an EV factory. There you go. See, so now I got a different quest. I'm more likely to be able to do an EV factory. I actually don't know. But it was better than the other quests that I had, because those quests were going to take too long. So let me go to see if there's an EV factory. I wonder where the EV factory might be. These are all the other factories, but the EV factory is not in here. It might be traffic. That would make sense, right? EV factory, traffic. There you go. There's an EV factory, $170,000. I could build this right now. Let's go, right? And you just saw how I had these quests that I couldn't complete right away, and now I have a quest that I can complete, and there you go. And I'm going to end up making some dough, some money with that. And as it happens, I'm going to both make money from the quest, and the EV factory is going to improve traffic and the environment, and it's going to create electric vehicles. So that's awesome. There comes another quest. See, you didn't have to wait very long. So quests are very important. Easy money, easy XP most of the time. And if it's not easy, abandon the quest and try to catch another one. It will come. Deliver 100 medals. So easy. I could do that. easily, right? Delivering 100 metal. So now let's go to the quest. EV factory is built, and just like that, 4,000 XP. Got some ore also, and that there you go. In some of these quests you get money, in others you get resources and things. And this one, deliver 100 metal, I've done it. Sometimes if you've done something in the past, you automatically get credit for the quest as soon as the quest comes in. So look at that. I was not going to have these 8,000 XP if I kept those quests lingering and hanging out in my quest list. I just got rid of them, and I got 2 quick ones, and I just made money off of, not money for one of them, but XP for both of them. That's awesome, right? So that's a tip. You gotta pay attention to your quest, and you want to make sure you're making progress towards your quest. Tip number 7, and we hit 204. Look at that, right? Tip number 7, and this is an important one. It's one of my favorites, but I'm saving my favorite one for the end. So tip number 7 is complete events as much as possible. Now, research becomes important in this too, because there is a research that I did. You'll notice that I have these fireworks that keep on coming up or popping up, right? And that's this research right here. Daily fireworks, automatically starts fireworks each night at the town hall for free. This is awesome. So I had to unlock that research, but once I did, now firework events go on every night on their own, and they earn me money. And that's awesome. So every night you'll see as it gets dark, around 11 o'clock I think they come on, or when it gets dark. Oh, this is 11 a.m. So 11 p.m. is when it actually happens. All right, there you go. And the fireworks are going to start. And there you go. Look at that. Right? And I'm getting non-stop XP just for that event. But there's other events, so keep an eye. Disasters I would stay away from, only because, you know, sometimes you have to pay, but you don't have to. You can just use the mayor, like I said. Don't pay for repairs. Make the mayor do everything. But it does earn you a lot of XP, and oftentimes, if you're meeting your milestones, you'll get a lot of money too. And you definitely want to turn on random disasters, because for that, you get $3,000 every day, and you don't get disasters every day. So definitely turn that on. It's worth it. It's like free $3,000. It's free because you could have the mayor repair the damage, but you're getting $3,000 every day. That's awesome. But keep an eye on events. Run all these events as much as you can. The first list of events, as you can see here, they always have a cost. The first time you do an event, it's free, but after that, you have to have certain materials and things to be able to do an event. And that's going to be a problem in some situations, but try to do the events that you can run. You don't have to do all of them. You could keep repeating the same event over and over again at the same time every day if it's getting you 5-star rating at the end of it. That's what you want. And you're getting free XP and money every time, right? So that's what you want to do. Let me check out what we have here for our quest. Reach 20,000 commute capacity. I'll accept it for now because I don't really care, but I would have held off on that on normal circumstances. This one is saying I should upgrade the fire department. I can do that right now. Let's go ahead and see which fire departments need upgrading. And we can go down here to buildings. And I think I have 2 fire departments. Let's go down to F and fire department. We have 3 in the city. Where are they? I don't know which one. Oh, this one looks like it doesn't have a helicopter. I can visit it maybe and upgrade it. Oh no, that one is maxed out. I didn't see the helicopter. Alright, so let's go to fire again. That was one. There's another one over here. Can I upgrade this one? Let's tap it. Yes, we can. There you go. Completed. Now be careful with upgrades because I didn't show you that. I tapped too quickly. But when you upgrade a building, it has more costs associated with it too. So it can do more, but also costs more for its upkeep, right? It takes more water, more power, and then there's daily upkeep. So you have to be careful. I didn't upgrade my buildings for a long time on my expert mode city because the costs were going to be too high to upgrade them. So I just kept them down. All right. Oh, we got another natural disaster. We'll let that happen, right? But now to my favorite tip, the last tip. Tip number 8 to have a successful expert mode city, and that is do as many mini games as you possibly can. It is free money. They're easy. even if you get only 4 stars, even if you don't win, you get something for these games, right? So you want to get these games as much as possible. Where are these games? You go to events again, you go to Minigames, and there you go. The more games you unlock, the better, because the games all the way at the bottom of the list, they're organized by how much money you get for them. So the dirt bike challenge, the stunt plane, and the laser tag, they make you the most money. Startup company, you get the point. The higher up they are on the list, the lower money they make, and the lower down they are on the list, the more money they make. That's why I keep on playing my dirt bike racing. And right now we're flooded, so we're gonna play this. And even in the flood, you can do it. See, the city is sinking, it's flooded, but you can do this as many times as you want. The good thing about mini games is that it doesn't even matter if it's during the morning, at night. It makes no difference whatsoever to the game when you do these games. So do them over and over again, and I'll show you why you need to do them over and over again, because it's about money. You don't even have to be good at them. As you can see, I'm missing a bunch of these, right? I just have to get to 40 by the end of like these 86 seconds, and that's more than enough. I'm getting so many. It's not at all hard. None of these games are hard. Even on expert mode, these games don't get hard at all. And if you play all of them, you can easily get 100,000, 200,000, $300,000 by playing all these games. Obviously, you have to unlock them, and there's different conditions of unlocking them, but they're not that hard. Mini games are not too hard to unlock. There you go, 40 out of 40, $63,000 just for that, and 5,000 in XP. So those are my 8 tips, and this is my favorite one. Play all the mini games. I love the basketball game. I love the police chase game. I mean, they're great games. The ride share's okay. Street race is awesome. You get to pick a car. You could even ride on a bike. Let me pick the sports bike, and I'll show you that I can, race these cars with my bike, and the bike is so much faster. Now, with the racing, it does matter what you're driving, because there are slower cars and faster cars. So you need to make sure you are picking something fast when you do this, so that you could get the most credit. You'll get the most money if you win, right? If you're in the first place, you get the most money. And there you go. Completed that. Took me, what, 10 seconds? 5 stars, $51,000 and 5,000 XP. So amazing, amazing opportunity. That's what you want to do. Pick 10 squares for industrial, 10 squares for commercial, and let's say 30 squares for residential. Once you have that sort of a ratio, leave that alone for a little bit and try to play whichever mini game is available to you as much as you can. Get that money up, because the more money you have, the more things you can do with it when things unlock. And I would say one more bonus tip: just because a building is unlocked doesn't mean you have to build it. Because remember, all buildings have a cost attached to them. Look at this. If you pay attention, if I were to, let me just go to, for example, services, right? If I build a fire department, it uses water, power, and road access, and it costs for maintenance $500 a day, right? So I'm just looking at, that's just a fire department. So don't feel like you need to have every single one of these buildings. You don't. Just because you unlock something doesn't mean you have to build it right away. So keep those things in mind. Happy city building, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.